All right, everybody, welcome back. It's a 2 episode week here at Probably Shouldn't Be Recording This. I am your affable host, Josh Love, and my previous one was kind of about my career and what's going on. Now, this one, I'm going to kind of put myself out there and talk about something I really don't talk about um, with other people. Sorry for the long pause. There's a bit of a traffic jam. So I'm going to talk about something I don't normally talk about with other people. Since, I don't know, the age of like 15, whenever I play like a sports game, whether it's, back in the day it was NBA Live and it was Madden, like 98, 99, uh, NCAA football, or I think it was called college football at that point, like 2000, 2001. Um, NBA 2K later years. I have been creating players um, that I do. I create these players so I can follow their careers, have them on my team, make it a little bit more fun to actually play the game itself. And funny enough, it started um, because in my younger years, when I was really mad at my dad, who I shared a last name with, I no longer wanted to have that name. And I no longer wanted to go by Josh. So I wanted to go by JT. But then I was trying to figure out like what would be a good last name to go by. And I landed on honestly, I landed on Johnson. I landed on JT Johnson. That's what I wanted to be called. And I actually never ended up going by JT Johnson. I ended up going by JT to a lot of my friends. Um, but then I really liked that name, JT Johnson. And I was like, well, I think I could maybe create a character that's like a basketball player. Or I was really into basketball at the time. So I always ended up making them basketball players. Um, and he was the one that opened up the floodgates. And I'm talking about him as if he's an actual person. He's not. He is a creation I've had in my head since I was a teenager. And, I just started doing that. A lot of it, too, I used to wear basketball jerseys a lot. So I would, whatever jersey I would have, like I had a Grant Hill jersey, that became Jermaine Hill. Um, there's a few other ones. My cousin had a Jerry Stackhouse jersey, so that became Tyrone Stackhouse. A lot of these guys. And then I gave JT a brother whose name was BJ Johnson. Um, and it just goes from there. So I literally have a document on my computer, like a spreadsheet with tabs for different games, NBA 2K, Madden, MLB The Show, where I'll create these players. And um, I don't know. I felt like it was something I would wanted to address because recently I've restarted MLB The Show 25 um, because I was working. I guess I'll just get this out there now. I use AI. I use ChatGPT um, to help me craft stories of these guys that I've been creating since I was a teenager. And I can tell you for a fact that when doing this, I find I enjoy playing the games a lot more, because sports games you can kind of get bored pretty quickly, and uh, so I wanted to see if it would help me like have more fun while playing the game, and it does. I currently I've crafted a story about two baseball players who share the same dad but didn't meet each other until they were there for their first day of spring baseball for their double A team. And, it's been super fun to follow. And that's kind of the only thing I use AI for is, to help with creativity when, like, yes, I would love to just sit and, like, play a game and then, which I've done before, which is I'll play a game and then I'll write, like, a story about the game with the results and all that. But I feel like having AI there is very helpful. Um, like I'm not using it to create deep fakes or do any of that stuff. That people are misusing AI horribly. Um, and I don't use AI often. It's mainly when I play video games. And I understand AI is a hot button issue for a lot of people, and it is bad for the environment. The data centers they have to build that give off all of these emissions, and like at the end of the day, it's not best. But for me, I find it as a useful tool to help myself enjoy a hobby I have, and I don't personally see anything wrong with that. Um, but it got this is how serious it goes for me. There was I took a long break from basketball games, but I picked up I think it was 2K19 because I started watching a YouTuber that did NBA 2K videos, and I was like, oh man, maybe I should give it a try, And I literally still had the list of players that I had created. At this point, it was 20 some odd years ago, and I started including them into the game, putting them in draft classes, following their careers. And then, I mean, we're 15, 16 years into the franchise of NBA team. I forget who I was doing. Probably the Nuggets. When I first restarted playing video games, NBA 2K, it was always I was the Nuggets, no matter what. Because I live in Denver, and the Nuggets are the local team. So, but it ended up one of the guys. It was actually the first guy I ever created. His brother BJ ended up making the Hall of Fame in NBA 2K, and he was the person, first player that I had created that had that good of a career where they got elected to the Hall of Fame in this video game, and I literally shed a tear. I was so happy for this character that I created that he was getting into this Hall of Fame in a video game, and I kind of just I took a step back and I was like, am I okay? Because I wonder if I'm alone. I wonder if there's other people out there that create characters when they play video games. Like I know I watch people on YouTube and they have these coach characters that they've been using forever, uh, but never have I seen someone that had like a list of players they've been creating since they were a teenager and like will continue. I do that. I'm 43 now, and I still like I'm I go like I create these characters with the story in mind, and so I try and craft it and like uh, make sure that it follows the story that I want to go to. like including like anytime like one of my people that I created gets traded, I throw in the scenario into ChatGPT and it gives me realistic like ESPN like articles and Twitter reactions, and it's just kind of a lot of fun, and I enjoy it. So I was mainly wondering to the people that listen and if you guys play sports video games, is this something you guys do too, or am I just a weirdo? Because I'm 43 and I'm still doing it. I don't think I'll ever not do it. Um, so yeah, I kind of wanted to share to you how big of a nerd I am when it comes to like playing video games, getting myself more interested in that game to maybe justify spending. Video games are expensive now, so $70, $80. Um, and I just find I enjoy the games more when I do this. The one thing I will say is NCAA football does not have create a recruit anymore, which is very upsetting. And there's a new game that will be coming out this year in July, usually when the game gets released. They gotta include create a recruit because that just intensifies my interest in playing the game. And granted, once we buy the game, they got their money from us. But if they just knew how much that everybody else wants creative recruit to return, I think if that news comes out this year, I will be, you know, waiting in line, ready to buy that game. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm going to buy the game anyway, but that would incentivize me to buy it even quicker. Um, so yeah, that's me letting you in on something that I really haven't talked about ever. Um, am I just a super nerd that is like wanting to live vicariously through these creative players' lives? Like when they sign a big ass contract in NBA 2K or Madden or whatever it is. Uh, I will say this: the only game I ever really create myself in is MLB The Show. Uh, two reasons being, I grew up playing baseball. It was my first love. I loved baseball. And also, baseball is the only thing that I could even potentially even play at my height. I'm 5'4". So there's 5'4" MLB baseball players that are killing it. I think Jose Altuve for the Astros, he's 5'4", 5'5". He's tiny, but he's killing it, and he's been killing it for years. And like baseball doesn't really have like a height requirement. Of course, you see these random people in the NBA or the NFL that are 5'5" or 5'6", but it's so few and far between, and it seems like it was much more likely that a person that's 5'4" would be able to play baseball professionally than any other sport. So even then, I don't make myself 5'4". I make myself, I think, 5'7" is what I usually make myself because I don't think you can go down to 5'4". Um, but yeah, see, it's never been about me, like putting myself in the games. It's always been about these people, these men that I've been creating for 20 some odd years now. So, I hope I'm not alone in this, and even if I am, whatever, I'm still gonna do it. Whether that makes me a weirdo or not, I don't honestly fucking care because being weird is cool to me. I like weirdos. Um, I mean, for fuck's sake, I record podcasts talking to myself for my listeners, which I mean I don't know how many I have, but it's not a lot. But I don't care. it's something I want to do and I enjoy doing. So, I mean, I encourage people to do this because it makes your gameplay a lot more fun. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it for the episode. Just a special episode to let you guys know how much of a weirdo I am. So you are welcome. If you guys have to go anywhere, go with love. I love you guys. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.